Hi, greetings and welcome into my divine and sacred space. I'm just going to turn that music down. Right. Well, the last reading I did, I called it Soul Cry, and it basically was trust the soul and the path. And I touched on the identity blocks that have been placed around us from the moment we was born, and then, the awakening, ascensions, the flight or fight mode that we take on and embody, and our continuous healing path on the journey for our life, because we're all here to experience and to learn. I'm going to continue a little bit on that. I might call it part 2, or it is a part 2. And part of the ascension, right, is going through internal changes. And it reminded me of the Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. The change starts with you. It's an internal change. And it's breaking down not only the identity blocks that were placed around us from the moment we were born, but also our belief systems, right? That is part of the false narrative that was given to us and placed upon us and conditioned us. And we take on these belief systems like they're ours or that they're yours, but they're not yours. They were placed upon you by the powers that were, that orchestrate society and how they want people to think, and how they want people to act, and how they want people to behave, and how they want to divide and rule people. So, belief systems. You might think that it's your belief system, but it really isn't your belief system. And as you go through your ascensions and you're stripping away and pushing away these building blocks, right, it's like delayering an onion. And sometimes it can be shocking to the self. Because if you always believed in a certain thing and then you find out it was never your belief, and that's all it is a belief. There's no fact or real truth or evidence behind it. It can sort of make you become sort of dysfunctional. And that's also part of the flight and the fight modality that you might embark on. But you don't stay stuck there. You really don't stay stuck there, right? You do move forward. So limited beliefs. Where do limited beliefs come from? They come from belief systems that say you must do this, you must think like that, you must act like this, you must act like that. And, in certain societies, if you're a woman, you have less rights than a man. If you're black, like myself, and a woman, you have even less rights than a white woman. This can be overtly or covertly. It plays on the psychology of societies. So the false ceiling sets up a false ceiling. It limits your view and your ambition. Some people's ceilings are here because they've been oppressed and downtrodden and suppressed one way or the other. And some people's ceilings are way high. And they're the ones that are going to rocket forward and seem to be very, very successful on the material plane because they have a distinct advantage. So, how do we break down the identity building blocks that was forced upon you? Like I said, you begin with self. It's an internal thing. Sometimes it's a trauma that will cause your awakening. Other times it can be quite gentle and determined. And I like that one. where you step into your awakening. But whether it's a gentle one or it's traumatic, right? The techniques that one uses to begin to know thyself, right, is to look at mind, body, soul, and the higher self, because we are higher beings. Remember, this physical body we're in, it's an avatar. You might think it's in control of you, but it's not. It's the higher being, the higher self that is supposed to be in the driving seat of the avatar that is in control. Society and the powers that were, they don't want you to know this, because then they will lose power and they will lose control. So the mind is expansive. It can go anywhere, right? And for me, the mind also rules emotions, and I call it water, because water are emotions, and we're made up of all the 4 elements, and then obviously the 5th element reminds me of another movie. The 5th element, the higher self, is air, right? The source of being is air, right? And it's invisible for a reason why we cannot see it. And then we have the body, which we know is the physical, which represents earth, and soul, fire, the engine that drives you to take action. So you need to get in touch with your elemental being so that you can further connect and link with a higher self. And you can do this in many ways. There's many techniques, many tools out there that you can find on Google, or self-help books, or personal development. And become your own best counselor and your own best teacher. The knowledge is out there. Knowledge is power. I'm going to stop there, right, because it is a part 2. And I'm now going to shuffle the deck of my cards, my tarot cards. And get some clarity on what I just said. We've got 2 cards flip out straight away. Let's get one more. We've got 2 more cards there, and I'm going to take those. When the cards flip out, I always say one of the ancestors pulled the card. Right, so the first one is Queen of Wands, and that's what she looks like in my deck. The Queen of Wands is the magician, the good sorceress, very magical, can make things happen. So she deals with wishes and dreams. So whatever wishes or dreams that you have in your personal life and for loved ones and those that you care for, right, this is the time to go for it. It really is the time to go for it. Because there's so much changes happening in the world, the wider world, and the global federation has fallen on the 5D, just needs to play out in the 3D. It's a very magical time. Believe in yourself, self-belief, self-love, and go for your dreams, go for your wishes, right? Just make sure it's not going to harm you or anybody else, and it will come into being, whatever it is, that secret desire, that secret wish that you want to achieve, the good you want to do for others, the good you want to do for yourself. This is the time to go for it, manifest it, make it happen. And then we've got the Hierophant, right, which represents the higher priest. It represents churches and organizations, religious organizations, traditions, right? So we are stepping away from traditions, right? We are marrying our shadow side and the light side, right? It's very, very, very spiritual card, very pious, looking for the higher good for yourself, loved ones, friends, and society and the wide world in general. Okay, it's the higher good. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles, right? Working towards that higher good, right? Putting the work in, right? Mastering self. It's very important to master self. And then we've got the King of Cups. Very loving, very secure. Looks after his people and has mastered his emotions. So that's where you are. You're mastering your emotions. You're not falling into the false paradigm. You're pulling away from the false paradigm. And go for it. And before I close, I'm going to take one from... No, I'm going to take one from Law and Attraction, actually. Because a lot of things that you're wanting to do and put into place, it does involve money, which is part of the material plane. Money in itself is innocent. It's what we use currently to trade with. You know, so it is a necessity. So let's just shuffle this. Have faith in your personal life. And again, I'm not pulling any of these. The ancestors are pulling them all for me. We are each responsible for the thoughts we think. We're each responsible for the thoughts that we think. When you are in alignment with who you really are, and that's part of the journey, you cannot help but uplift those with whom you come into contact. Your value to those around you hinges upon only one thing: your personal alignment with Source, and the only thing you have to give to another is an example of that alignment, which others may observe, then desire, and then work to achieve. But you cannot give it to them. Everyone is responsible for the thoughts they think and the things that they choose as their objects of attention. Well, I think that's a beautiful closing for this mini reading. And on that note, I wish you all well. I am an African. I am a chosen one. Therefore, I have greatness, love, and abundance around me, within me, and everywhere I go. Love, blessing, peace, and achievement to you all, the collective consciousness. Peace out.